personally if the birds in my ears tell me correctly. And then let's see, Kinley and Chad, where are you?
Right
right over here. Our leadership council chairs here in Chicago. They're the folks that help keep the rest of us in line and put together some great programming for GLAAD in Chicago. And so the rest of the leadership council, raise your hand please. Sue, stand up. Oh, look for the water bottle in the air. There we go. So thank you for all the volunteer time that you all put in to make sure that the correct messaging gets out to the general public on actual facts instead of myths and innuendos and inaccurate reports. So a lot of people do a lot of work to make that happen. And so that's the housekeeping. Now the neat thing is, and then I always do this real quick, are you enjoying the beverages? I hope that some of you that have been here before are trying something that you typically do not drink. If you typically drink a Coors Light or a Miller Lite, I challenge you when you're here, try something else. Try one of our amazing new products, right? Fortune. Have you had that? Try it. The bartenders will work with you. Oh, have we applauded the bartenders? Tell them what you like, what you normally drink, and they'll match it for you very quickly. Okay? Now, why we're here. I've been working with GLAAD for close to 10 years. They've done some amazing things. You've seen some really smart, intelligent people at the helm of this great organization. And I gotta tell you, I get goosebumps thinking about where it's gonna go. 6 months, roughly? 6 months, Sarah Kate has been leading the efforts of GLAAD, taking it to new heights, already challenging some things that have come along against the community, the Olympics, the St. Patrick's Day Parade in New York, and please tell me Duck Dynasty is a growth, right? People can grow from what they don't know. And we couldn't do it without GLAAD, and we certainly couldn't do it without the leadership that we have in Sarah Kate. Sarah Kate can tell you much better about Sarah Kate than I can. Welcome, Sarah Kate.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you. I have to say, I really like being behind a bar. I don't think I've ever been behind one. There are other stories I could tell you about bars, but not behind. Anyway, thank you for having me. Thank you for hosting. And thank you to the Leadership Council. You guys do a tremendous amount of work, and that's all volunteer. So we owe a lot to you guys. So I wanted to say that Chicago is a really particularly special place for me because my first interview for GLAAD happened in Chicago back in October, and it was cold, and I was coming from LA from a business trip someplace else, and I had to stop in Chicago to meet with the Executive Search Committee. And I was nervous, as you can imagine. It was this team of people around a boardroom, and I had to meet with them. I was on LA time, I had been in New York, I was all over the place, so I didn't really know what time zone I was in. And I walked into Chicago, and all of a sudden, it's just like you can breathe in Chicago and relax and think and be. And so I met with the board at that time, who were really lovely and inspiring. And we talked a lot, and they asked really hard questions. And the board tends to do that. They ask, they're paid, they're not paid, they're volunteer too. But they exist to ask me the hard questions. And one of the questions they said is, you're going to be traveling a tremendous amount. And you have 2 kids and a wife. How are you going to manage that? And I thought for a second, and they're right, you travel a tremendous amount. I'm on the road more than I'm home now. And for me, this is a second calling. And I said, you know, before I came out here, because this was a long trip to get to Chicago, I had to go to LA, and I had meetings there, and then I showed up in Chicago. I sat my kids down and I said, you know, Mommy's doing something very different. She's having a meeting about a job that she thinks she really wants. It was sort of a discovery. They were checking me out, I was checking them out. I said, but I want you, if I do this, I want you to always remember that you should do the things that scare you the most, that push you the furthest, and that inspire you and inspire the people around you. And if I can give you that gift, then I've done my job. And so I left that meeting and I thought, I think I can do this. I think I can really do this. So just so you know, for me, I was in media for 17 years. I was on the for-profit side. Hi. I was on the for-profit side before I came to the not-for-profit side. I launched magazines, I turned magazines around. I've been at everything from Vogue to Real Simple and everything in between, New York Magazine. And so I have a real deep respect and regard for the media. And so running the premier media advocacy organization globally is no small task, but I feel really ready for it because I have done this for so long. And as Doug mentioned, we've taken on a lot of different things in my first 6 months. And I just wanted to say for just 1 second the things that we're taking on and we're continuing to take on in the next 12 to 18 months. We have a really strong Southern strategy that you'll start seeing. They're called Southern Stories. It's about the South and the Heartland, and it's really about putting faces and stories against all of the policy challenges that we're seeing both in the South and in the Heartland. We have a strong and robust trans arm in our organization, and that will continue to grow. Trans work is becoming more and more visible, and we're the media advocacy organization, so we're there to make sure that that visibility is done the right way and handled properly. We're also working internationally and growing globally. We've had a tremendous amount of international LGBT leaders come to us and ask us our best practices and our trade secrets. So we're going to start sharing that with them, and we have a robust strategy against that. And finally, our youth, the next generation of advocates. I think that, you know, when I sat my daughter and son down and told them that I was going for this job and that it was going to be at an expense to our family as well, I really meant that we need to grow the next group of advocates. And I think it's really important that we teach our kids how to stand up for themselves, how to grow a diverse community and what that means. So we have a lot of programming going on around youth, especially our Spirit Day, which is our anti-bullying campaign. That'll be in October, and I think will be bigger and better this year than ever before. So if you have any questions for me, I'd love to meet everybody tonight and spend a few minutes with everybody. If you have any specific questions, be sure to ask me, or you can always email me. And before I say goodnight, I think I'm turning you back to Doug, correct?
Yes.
So thank you so much for supporting GLAAD. Thank you for coming out tonight. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you for the warm welcome.
Thank you so much. Speaking of partnerships and support, the one thing that if you notice around the room, obviously never a requirement, but the work that we do to ensure accuracy and fairness is everywhere, can't happen without a little bit of help. So take a look at the cards. If you're willing to help, able to help, please do so. Make sure that you give the card to the leadership team or the GLAAD staff. GLAAD? It's a mirror. It's one person. And we'll be happy to take that and be your partner, okay? Because that's one thing, and we talked about this, MillerCoors does not sponsor anything in the LGBT. We partner, because together we'll get where we need to be. And there's a big difference between putting the logo on something and running around the track, right? Versus getting in the trenches and doing the work alongside everybody. So that's what we believe here, and that's why we're very happy to be the host again this year. What is this, 3-4 years in a row? 5 years? Wow. See, lose my hair, lose my memory. So with that, enjoy and make sure and try something that you haven't had. Smith & Forge, have you all tried it? Yes. Fortune, have you tried it? Reds, these are our new products. Try them. They're amazing, okay? I know I'm jaded just a little bit. Have a great time. Again, take a look at the cards if you can help out. It means a lot. Thank you very much.